Tired of losing your sanity looking for important work? Dropbox Dash finds what you need fast across all your work apps so you can focus on what matters. Dash means less time searching, more time creating. Learn more at dropbox.com/dash.
What is Cafe Mocha? Cafe Mocha is experts, celebrities.
What's up? This is Belle Biv DeVoe.
Yours truly, Idris Elba.
This is Fantasia.
This is In Vogue.
This is India Ari.
So much more. All from a woman's perspective.
What flavor are you, baby?
This is Cafe Mocha.
Cafe Mocha Radio from a woman's perspective, but we don't mind having sexy men on the show. Joining us, the multi-talented Jacob Latimore, who just wrapped up season 7 on The Chi. Plus, he's got new music. Welcome to the show, Jacob.
What's up, y'all? Hey, okay. Oh, hey, sexy on the phone.
Sexy.
That's her. Try to be sexy. Hey,
I said Mr. Sexy.
Mr. Sexy. How you been?
Thank you. I've been good. I just a really good time right now. Just enjoying home. This is probably the longest break we've had in between seasons. So this year I got some time to just kind of be at home a little more and do some things I want to do around the house and yard work and, stuff like that, and just drop my album and enjoy family and just kind of relax a little bit, but also still work too at the same time. So it's been a good balance right now.
When you first started this show, Jacob, did you have any idea that The Chi would last for 7 seasons?
I didn't. I didn't, just because anything I did beforehand, didn't really last that long, or it was just one movie and then I was on to the next movie. I was on to the next project. So I went in with pretty, low expectations. You would hear things like, oh yeah, we definitely go 5 or 6 seasons and stuff like that. But I was at a point where I was just, anything I had high hopes for was just kind of like not really, going the long run. So I just try to keep my head down and just always be ready for the pivot, always be ready for, anything that could possibly change. But I am extremely grateful that, we've been working this long. This is definitely a weird industry now. Like every shows are getting dropped out the blue, and we just happy that I feel like God really got his hand on our show, and it's been dope.
And you said you guys have already been signed for an 8th season.
Yep. Yeah.
So that is awesome.
Yeah, it is. So for season 7, tell us about your character and what we can expect, of course, without giving away too much.
Yeah, I've been seeing the tweets, I've been seeing the TikToks, I've been seeing all the. I feel like everybody's definitely like got something to say. It's dope. It's like everybody's really into, the teasing, the conversation of just where Emmett's heart is, and his romance, and the love he has for his baby mother, and with the loss of Rob this season, and we see Emmett just kind of really dealing with some sort of emotional intelligence, I think, in the sense of where all these sort of these old feelings may be kind of coming up a bit, but he's just trying to digest or figure out what is it. You know what I mean? I think he's growing as a man and having his kids a lot more now that he needs to support Tiff, and Keisha has been just somebody he's just his best friend, throughout all this, and we see this young couple just really trying to push for longevity and honesty and just being faithful to each other, and just sort of always making those sacrifices. And it's really cool to see a young couple doing it this way on screen. And Emmett is just Emmett's he's gonna go through it. It's definitely gonna be a shocking season. We still just getting started, honestly. We got our character Reg back, so it's so dope. It's so dope.
How many babies do Emmy have?
I think a total it is a total of 5. It'll be 5. I gotta recount.
Okay. It's a lot. But we definitely enjoy you in your acting space. But we are really excited about your new music. Your new album, self-titled JL, has been released and is featuring that vibrant summer single, Again. Why was it a good time to go back into the studio, and how did you balance that with the acting?
Well, I've been working on the album since season 4, so I've never just left the studio. I'm always maybe recording here and there. I'm maybe not in the studio every day like I used to. Like I'm not under a hard recording contract when I was a teenager. So being in the studio was, priority at the time. Right now, since I'm under the Shy contract, it's like that's what I'm doing most of the year. But when I have time to just hop in the studio and I'll put my own money up for my music right now because it just make more sense for me in the sense of just owning my masters and just just sort of feeding my core fan base. I haven't really had to worry about conquering the world, just kind of focusing on my followers, my engagement, and it's been a lot more peaceful for me to just have fun with music in that way because music can get discouraging. It's a lot of moving parts, and it's something that I've always just loved to do. It's just who I am, and right now is the perfect time just because we have such a good break, and the timing just felt good. I don't know, something about it just felt really like divine, and it was just like, I'm gonna title it JL. I haven't did a self-titled album yet, and I'm going into my 7th season of this television show, and I got the time to just do all these visuals and takes my time to mix and master. So but overall it's all been worked on over the past couple of years. A lot of these songs I've been sitting on for a while, so it's just been cool to just be like, it's time to release it this year. And you just see those fans and tweeting like, yeah, when the music dropping, like, we know you play Emmett, but don't let them forget. You know what I mean? So it's been cool.
We're talking to Jacob Latimore about season 7 of The Chi, currently streaming on Paramount Plus. Up next, we're talking about his music on Cafe Mocha.
Standing in solidarity from a woman's perspective. It's Cafe Mocha.
Cafe Mocha, he plays Emmett on The Chi. Some of y'all already watched season 7, but for everybody else, we're talking to Jacob Latimore, and he's filling us in. You recorded some of this music with another actor named Woody McClain, who people are going to know from Power Buck 2. He plays Kane, and then he plays Bobby Brown in every movie that ever had Bobby Brown in it.
Okay.
How did you guys link up and decide to make music together?
Well, me and Woody have always been cool. Just me being a fan of his work, him being a fan of mine. But he started to tell me, he's like, I'm producing now. I want you to check out these records. And actually, Again was the last record I added to the album. It was just one of those moments where you're like, the album is shut, the budget's closed, the studio times is closed. We about to, package up the album and deliver. And then he sends me one more record. He's like, yo, like, check this out. And then I just listen to it. I'm like, dang. Like, hold up. I'm like, all right. I'm like, yeah, I got to record this. So it just felt like one of those, it just felt radio. It just felt like that missing piece we needed on the album. And Woody just pulls through every time. He works with a lot of dope writers and producers and just young people that's hungry and who want to get into music, who want their shot and opportunity. So and that's how the record came about. And I was just like, man, this actually just feels really cohesive to where I'm at in my life, and the lyrics was just matching. So I just like, perfect. This is perfect for the JL album. And I'm like, you know what? This is going to be the single.
I love that. Now, are you cousins with Kenny Latimore, our friend of the show?
Yeah, Kenny is my cousin, yeah.
Oh,
really?
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Would you guys, want to do a collab together? He's such a phenomenal singer. I love Kenny.
Yeah, we got to do something more recent. I actually did do something with Kenny and my dad and my uncles who were singing at the time. We actually did a Christmas record for a mixtape of mine when I was like maybe 16, maybe 15 or something like that. But we definitely got to do something again. And but yeah, we stay in touch. I'm proud of him. He's still at every R&B festival in the world right now and killing it, and that's what it's about, just making records that are timeless. And it's just nice to have somebody in my family that grew up in the business and know what to do, what not to do. Yeah. And he's always been just a good supporter.
Yeah, I wonder, you were talking about how difficult the music business is. What kind of advice did, when you decided to get into this business, music, what kind of advice did he give you, that may have saved you from some BS?
Yeah, I think it was just more so just locking in and with your circle, keeping your circle tight. I think any industry you get into, there's just a lot of different people, a lot of different spirits, a lot of different agendas, and you just got to really stay locked in on what you believe in and your source, and you got to also just, keep family tight, keep people that have your best interests at heart, and that way you can get through this with a peaceful and sane mind. You know what I mean? I think sometimes we can be so caught up into our numbers and awards or Grammys or Oscars, whatever, and kind of lose sight of just, the purpose of why we even here. We're here to just, to just show off our gifts and make an impact on people and put a spark in people's mind to pursue their dreams, and then all the other things will come, and that's really what's been shown in my career. I feel like my career has been a gradual success since 10 years old. I'm actually happy it wasn't too much at once. You know what I mean? I think it was important that my success just kind of little by little has grown in different avenues and different eras. I was able to go from music to TV and film to now I'm independently owning my music to, being able to have genuine fans, and it's a great space. It's real freedom. You know what I mean? I think I'm not so caught up into the accolades. Like Whoopi Goldberg said something so powerful to me on a red carpet. I was looking at a video, and she was just talking about how I never needed the credit. I just needed the work, and that was just like so profound to me because, we from Milwaukee, we weren't, I wasn't born just famous. I started out really young. I found some success as a kid, but we were really grinding. I was really paying my dues. I went to homeschool. I traveled to different schools and talked to kids and performed for their principals and teachers, and and really put in that work that, I think that it's hard to be able to tell that, you have to do that with social media right now. It just feels like you can just blow up overnight. But the work that I put in since I was a kid has been fruitful today, and just like when he started singing, I didn't even know Emmett sing. Like, he been singing. This has been a grind. Like, you know what I mean? So this ain't new. You know what I mean? This ain't nothing new. This is over almost 15, close to 20 years of just really grinding. So it's been incredible.
And it pays off. It's Cafe Mocha on the line. Singer and actor Jacob Latimore, his new self-titled album, JL, is out right now with the new summer single, Again. You can also see him on season 7 of The Chi that's streaming right now on Showtime. You're doing all of this. You're doing the acting, the singing. What you do for the social life? What's happening there?
Other than fixing up your house.
Yeah, I am a homebody. I'll say that. I am a homebody. I've avoided the clubs. I used to be in like early 20s when I got to Chicago. I started the show when I was 21. So I was, I was at all the clubs, popping bottles, sections and stuff like that. So I try to stay away from that now. I love to just go to like some cool restaurants, speakeasies, hidden door spots. Membership only sort of restaurants, real laid back, cool vibes, nice hotel restaurants, hotel pools, and just kind of, on some more on some grown folk vibe, you know what I mean, just chilling. But other than that, like, I definitely am just enjoying single life and enjoying my home, and I really just, just me and my dog for real. You know what I mean? I walk my dog. That's my thing to do. I watch a lot of sermons, watch a lot of movies, and I really don't get this time that much. You know, most of my work and what I do is socializing, you know, whether it's stepping out to a networking party and, you know, I may see some fellow friends and colleagues or that also are just like-minded individuals. So most of the time I am socializing. It's just that time I get that time down alone, I'm like, yeah, I'll see y'all in a few days.
You like me. I'm a homebody as well, but you know, it's good to have that balance. So do you feel like you're getting that balance of social versus your work?
Absolutely. No, I definitely been grateful. Like this been time for me to, like my little cousin, he just graduated. He's going to college, so I was able to see a lot of my mom's side of the family that I haven't seen and actually it's been a while. So just to see everybody and having that sort of family get together during that time, and this has been a great time. And because I film in Chicago, I'm from Milwaukee, so I get to see a lot of family, and I still got my spot up there. So my little cousin, she just had her birthday, talked to her, and my grandmother's birthday is coming up this summer, so I want to take her out on a yacht in Chicago. So this is it's been a great balance of just work, family, faith, you know, finance. It's been good. Like probably the best time of my life right now. I can't complain.
What advice do you give to young people? Because you're still in your 20s, Jacob. And a lot of them haven't been as fortunate or blessed as you. What would you say to those that may be, you know, having some struggles right now?
Yeah, I think it's so important to evaluate, you know, what you say and what you do, right? So I had to sort of evaluate some things of just like, for instance, I want to get in better shape, or I want to have a six pack, or I want to have, you know, this many muscles by this point. And I had to sort of look at my life and say, what am I doing on a daily basis that'll help me get closer and closer to my goal? And I think the number one thing I would say is patience. Like right now, it just feels like you can just do something overnight, and if it does, that's dope. But you may not be able to handle it, and you may crash it. You know what I mean? So sometimes the success we ask for, the fame we want, the amount of money we want, we don't really realize how many spiritual ties that has towards us. Like once you see $1 million in your bank account, you actually don't know what that feels like. So you gonna blow it. You know what I'm saying? Like you gonna blow it because you never learned how to save a dollar. You never really had that much money. Nobody around you and your family has had that much money. So people are gonna pull from you. People are gonna ask you for money and all those things. So when you're asking for things, you have to make sure that the circle you're around is congruent to where you see yourself going. And I've had to sort of just reevaluate my circle almost every other year, I feel like, because there are people that are just coming to you or want to be around you for whatever you do or the things that you benefit from. And you have to have a lot of discernment. So patience, discernment, and prayer, and just an environment and circle. And I think that's been just a really huge blessing in my life. Like my mom, she was like, yo, we going to Atlanta. And Atlanta was a space for me to really thrive. I saw other artists. I saw kids my age doing their thing, doing their music, doing their acting, doing their hosting. And that put a spark in me. You know, it was just put a spark in my brain to say, oh, I can do this too. I don't have to just do music. I can act. I can host when I want to here and there. And it's about surrounding yourself and absorbing, even if you're not even in that space. Say you're still in that neighborhood that doesn't really help you thrive. Maybe there's something downtown. Maybe there's something online. Like a lot of my mentors I don't even know. You know, I just look them up on YouTube. And if I want to get into real estate, I'm like, yo, like, who do real estate? How you do real estate? You know, and it's a lot of stuff that's available to us on the internet today. We just gotta seek it, and we gotta research it. And it's so much other distractions that could have you going left field thinking you need to get this Lamborghini or Bentley and blah, blah, blah. It's just everything looks so good on socials, but when you actually just put the phone down and lock in, you can really take accountability for your actions.
I love it. Well, you know what? We are accountable for playing your records, and that's what we will do.
Hey.
Thank you so much, Jacob, for checking in with us on Cafe Mocha. And y'all be sure to check out his new album, JL, and check him out on The Chi. Take care, brother.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it.
We're talking to Jacob Latimore. Check out the full season of The Chi on Showtime and streaming on Paramount Plus.
We're at Cafe Mocha Radio. Socially savvy on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Serving up more Cafe Mocha on the way. Standing in solidarity from a woman's perspective. It's Cafe Mocha.
It's Cafe Mocha with Loni Love, Yo-Yo, and Angelique. On the line is Gia Peppers. Her show, her podcast is called More Than That with Gia Peppers.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. You say more than that. More than what?
So, look, I like how you said that. So more than that, the entire idea came about as an answer to all that happened, all that we experienced in 2020 and 2021, the Black Lives Matter movement that we were all there for, the murders of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and all of the people, unfortunately, that lost their lives during those times in particular. It was a call to action that we saw from the advertising industry that Black people in this country put out. And Dentsu, which is one of the world's leading advertising firms, kind of told their partners, put your money where your mouth is. If you really care about what Black communities are experiencing and want to create a space where conversations that are happening all on our timelines could happen in podcast form, let's create it. And so that's how More Than That came about. And More Than That is a reminder for any person listening, but especially our community, that we are more than what society tells us, more than what the news headlines are, and more than what we even know about ourselves sometimes. So these conversations are a reminder of that.
We're talking to Gia Peppers from More Than That with Gia Peppers. Speaking of what we see in the media, social media has been going crazy.
I do want to go back, though, because, when the whole Black Lives Matter incident happened, and then, we had everybody on board, all the corporations and everything. What, in your opinion, changed them to whereas now we're not getting that support that we got back then?
It's wild you point that out, Loni. I mean, to be honest, we had a lot of trouble getting season 4 funded. I mean, we know it from the media side. We've seen newsrooms shutter. We've seen, Black-owned businesses and companies. Some of them have had to close because all of those, creator funds and those impact funds that started with such great intention in 2021 and 2020 have all of a sudden have started to shy away from all of the things that they said they were about literally 2 years ago. And it's scary and it's sad. And to be quite honest, I really hope that we're all still here and all still need of support. I think because of how loud the divisiveness in this country got, the spectrum swung back so far from DEI being something that all Americans should push for, and companies were behind, that it swung back to now it's a political buzz term that is a bad thing. And it was really disheartening to see some companies shy away, but I'm even more grateful to our partners like Kroger. GM came through, Buick in this show, and then P&G through Gillette, that were able to partner with us and say they're not going to be scared of this current political moment. I hope more companies do that, because we didn't just need 2 years of support. We need, still Black people to have those high position jobs and still need to create diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's what the American experiment of democracy is supposed to be, perfecting, having a more perfect union. So why we all got scared, or why certain parties got scared, is disheartening, and shows me that, we got even more work to do than we thought.
I'm not trying to be funny, but you guys can't act like you didn't know this was going to be a temporary thing. All of a sudden, you really thought these companies were going to support us 5 and 10 years down the road?
Why not?
I knew for a fact. I'm like, this is a moment.
Gia, here we go. This is the one. This the one. She knew.
This is a moment.
Okay.
No, I'm serious. The place with the white folks that I work with, they're like, oh, will you be head of the DEI thing? Will you launch this? Will you launch that? And I'm looking at them like, how long is this going to last? I'm surprised it lasts 2 years. Honestly.
Hey, look now, maybe I am a forever optimist. And I really, really was hoping that it would last longer than 2 years. I was hoping that these structures and these things that they were putting in place would actually bring about some long-lasting change. And I think it did in the short term. But what I really was sad to see was that, like, I would love to see someone put together a list, like a compilation of all the brands that said they are supporting Black things, and then see how they're doing today.
The Washington Post listed a bunch of people that made commitments, but I don't know if there's a follow-up as to what they've actually done.
Yeah, because I would love to see how that works. But I mean, I guess you're right. You were right, Angelique. I don't know what to say. I still am hopeful.
I mean, it's like, look, Black folks and people of color are consumers. Most of the times we're the majority of the consumers than, the mainstream. So it is old. I keep telling people this is not something that they're giving to us. This is something that's owed to us. It's a partnership here. So for them to support Gia's, podcast, or to support the Cafe Mocha, this is something that is supposed to happen. It's like, as consumers, as our listeners are consumers, this is not, they're not giving us anything. And that's what you have to remind them of, because I think sometimes they think like, oh yeah, we're helping the Black people out. No, you're not. No, you're not.
Right.
We buy Tide. Right. We buy cars. We buy, so this is supposed to be a partnership here. Now, Gia, can you talk about some of the your guests in the past, your guests in the future? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so what I love about the show is that we've had all different types of guests come on and talk about what they're passionate about, the work that they do, and even some guests that, like, we know well, for one thing, but we were able to explore conversations that they're passionate about that they don't usually get to talk about. And for example, I mean, Master P came on during season 1 or season 2 and talked about the effects of climate change, because as one of the unofficial mayors of New Orleans, he has seen firsthand how Black and brown communities are the first to be in the worst positions ever when storms and climate change effects happen back to back in communities that have the least resources, the least support, and all of the different things. And so that was amazing to pick his brain and explore his thoughts as someone who has had to help New Orleans get back on its feet several times. Hurricane Katrina isn't the only time. We've seen so many hurricanes come and harm New Orleans and the surrounding areas in Louisiana. And he was able to talk about how he pays attention to climate change and the conversations around it, and why he believes it's so important that we as a community understand that when we are voting for these people and putting these people in office, we have to vote for people who understand that climate change is real, and we need people to help us really navigate this in this moment in particular, this political landscape that tries to tell us that the world is not changing, even though it's like the record hottest year in millennia. Ever. So that was interesting.
The HBCU First Look Film Festival is looking for college filmmakers from HBCUs. You can win $5,000 and get exposure to some of the biggest names in Hollywood. Go to hbcufirstlook.com for more. The deadline is coming up August 28th. Again, go to hbcufirstlook.com.
Here's your dose of espresso. Strong, hot news now.
This is the Espresso. Did you see all those armored trucks, tanks, men strapped with huge weapons storming a park in LA, all to round up immigrants?
So what I saw in the park today looked like a city under siege, under armed occupation. And I have to tell you, spending many years traveling into conflict areas, it's the way a city looks before a coup.
For those who haven't already lost their good government job, the Supreme Court just ruled those firings were legal.
The decision marks another win for the president, allowing the government to start taking those steps to overhaul 21 agencies and departments, including Commerce, Health and Human Services, Energy, Treasury, and State as well.
Fired earlier this year was about 1,000 people from NOAA, the agency that includes the National Weather Service.
What's happening now this summer, what's supposed to be a really active hurricane season. I mean, the head of FEMA, I think it was the head of FEMA, didn't even know that hurricane season was a thing. What?
That's the Espresso.
This is Cafe Mocha. Radio from a woman's perspective.
We've had Sal P come on and talk about his juicing life and the importance of putting great things in your body and understanding that, our plates and our juices and things we consume need to be colorful, and we're not just talking about red Kool-Aid. We're talking about, juicing from the standpoint of putting all your things together and putting them in your body. And I think one of the most important things we've talked about, season 1, we got to do the Black maternal mortality rate episode, discussion episode. We had 3 doctors at that time in 2020 and 2021 who had founded the International Institute for Racism in Health. And they were 3 Black women doctors that came together and decided to take on this bias that exists that tells, the students in schools that Black women unofficially, but they, the bias exists, that we have less, we have more, we are able to handle more pain, and we shouldn't be listened to when we are crying out literally in the midst of bringing new life into this world. And this one doctor literally said until she read her charts, no one listened to her as she was crying out in pain. So we had the conversation about how to advocate for yourself in those moments, the importance of having a doula, especially as a Black woman. It could be the difference between, life or death situations, and then having folks who can advocate for you if you lose consciousness, if you lose the ability to speak for yourself in the midst of those really, really important moments. And so those have been some of my favorite episodes. This season, we really focused on the power of the collective. And even before, what happened this past election was going to be loud and crazy. So our biggest, most important thing was to remind us of the power that we have when we show up for each other. And also that this playbook ain't new. Our ancestors have fought this fight before. Our elders, our people who have gone through this fight to keep this nation unified before have been here before. And so this is the time for us to back down. It's the time for us to double down on all we've learned these past 4 years and keep showing up to the polls.
And this is why, more than that, deserves to have sponsorship. I mean, come on, Angelique. You want her fighting and slapping people. We're not doing that no more.
That's right.
Wait, but she ain't cussing nobody out. Oh, wait a minute. Being positive.
Not on my side. There's other folks that do that, but not over here.
We don't want that positivity. What is that?
Child, okay, not there is no cussing, not there is no shade. No, none of that. None of that.
I love it.
We love it, and we love you, Gia Peppers.
Thank you.
More than that, season 4 will be out, and just thank you so much for all that you do for the community. And I'm sure we'll have you back on because we gonna this next 100 days.
Hello. Ooh. We'll be back. I'm ready. Let's keep talking about it. Let's keep telling our people it's not time to get scared. Rest, take breaks, because these people gonna try us. But we got work to do.
Definitely.
Yes, we do.
Take care, sister. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Have a good one.
You too.
Want a little more of our flavor? Stay right there. It's Cafe Mocha.
It's Cafe Mocha with Loni Love. Yo, I'm Angelique. On the line right now, singer and songwriter Elijah Blake. How are you?
I'm great, ladies. How are you? I'm such huge fans of y'all. This is amazing.
No, you are amazing, brother. I mean, introduce yourself because you are a songwriter. You've written hits since you were 16 years old. One of my favorites, a Climax. You co-wrote that. That Usher. Yo-Yo is losing it right now.
Thank you, Yo-Yo. Thank you, Loni. This is amazing, man. I'm sorry. I'm kind of fanning out a little bit. I'm back falling in love with this music thing, man. And it was a point when I wanted to quit after the pandemic. I lost my grandmother, and music kind of just the side of the things that made me fall in love with it, being able to express myself in a way and the healing properties just kind of started escaping me. So with this record, Ghostbusters, it is taking me back into the space that I was when I wrote Climax with Usher. And I just remember being in that room and I'm looking at this guy like, wow, man, this is, for me growing up, it was Michael Jackson and then Usher. And I'm sitting across from him writing a song. Like, it doesn't get much better than that.
Isn't he great, Usher? Let's
yes.
like how proud was it to see him at the Super Bowl performing after all of these years? Like, that was like great. How did you feel about that?
I just love watching our icons get their flowers, man, especially as Black artists. A lot of times I just feel like we have to work 10 times as hard to get half the amount of roses. I'm actually a third of the roses. So anytime I see him, Beyonce and Rihanna able to bring R&B to the forefront in a pop way, because people forget that pop is a derivative of popular culture. I'm always in awe of that, and I don't take that for granted.
I want to just back up real quick before we lose that healing properties. You said you wanted to quit before the pandemic. What made you want to quit?
So for me, when I grew up as a kid singing in church, everything that came, my melodies, if you really listen to my melodies, they're very I say there's a lot of people who follow me or who study me or who are fans of mine, and they're like, it makes sense. They're very praise and worship. So even before I could understand the word, I feel like the Bible is sometimes a little too poetic for a child's mind. So for me, praise and worship was a universal language where I would just throw up my hands and sing hymns and give worship to God. So for me, my melodies are super inspired by that, and church is a big cornerstone for me. And I kind of lost sight of that in the pandemic, just because you're asking why is everybody dying? Why is with the protests? And then I lost my grandmother, and I never really dealt with a close death like that. And then also with the music and streaming, it just wasn't really making sense. I'm just like, okay, so you guys listen to a song of mine, and then like I get 0.00003 cents. Like, so then therefore, if I get 1 million streams, I made $5 or something insane like that. It just kind of, a lot of things weren't making sense for me in terms of the art, and it was just kind of like my cup was running low, and I just had to really find my love back for music. To be honest with you, a lot of my heroes that I worked with, they kind of let me down. I kind of didn't want to meet my heroes anymore, because you hear these people one way, they inspire you one way, and you meet them and you're just like, oh, maybe they're not good people. And that's a harsh reality to kind of come to terms with,
Can you sing us a little something?
I'm a church boy and I just woke up, but here we go. I got to sing you guys a gospel song. I've had some good days. I've had some hills to climb. I've had some weary days and some sleepless nights. But when I look around and I think things over, all of my good days, yes, Lord, I'll weigh my bad days, and I won't complain.
That's the show. If you want to hear the full conversation, go to mochapodcastnetwork.com. mochapodcastnetwork.com. Until next time, you can find us on all platforms at Cafe Mocha Radio. Cafe Mocha is a production of Miles Ahead Broadcasting in partnership with Super Radio. Executive producer Sheila Eldridge. For comments, booking, or more information, visit cafemocharadio.com.